there's still like two stupid moms who are like, they came around and they told us we were gonna be stars, and they showed. It was like a dream. There was a cat that looked just like her, but little and small, and it followed me for half a block.
And that makes your life a dream?
It just seems sort of
surreal,
symbolic and surreal. Yeah, a lot of things happen. My dreams are weird, and then real life is weird too. Corey said it really well one time.
Cool.
Corey Mayo. He said, Dylan, lots of things happen to you that are, I forget, what word did he, picturesque, are noteworthy, but I wouldn't want to happen in my life. It's something like that. I'm sure that he could quote it, but I have it somewhere in my phone.
80% of the shit that happens to you, right, probably is not noteworthy to you, but would be like something that would ruin most people's days.
No comment.
Accurate. You just did. You were just a field tech for the homeless out there. Medic! We need a Dillon.
What was I supposed to do?
I know. No, I don't know. Most people would just go on with their day.
He was stabbed.
I know, but I still think most people would be like, I don't want to get involved.
On my street.
It's your street.
I can't let a man be stabbed.
Well, you let him be stabbed. You just.
I had no control over his being stabbed.
Right.
I don't want him to get an infection or.
Yeah.
You know.
So no, you gave him.
Where's he gonna go? The hospital?
Dude, it's hilarious. World War II. We gave him some isopropyl alcohol and some morphine. No, I know.
He'll be good for today.
Do you have any gunpowder? We could have cauterized the wound.
Unfortunately, I did not have any gunpowder. I could have held a lighter up while he was pouring the isopropyl on. But it wasn't a severe stab wound.
Was it a slash more than a...
No, it was a stab.
Okay.
But it was... This is a slash.
Yes. He's pointing to his arm.
His looked like a stab, but it was in the arm.
Okay.
And it was in the lower arm.
That's good.
So... he wasn't going to bleed out.
Of all the places to get stabbed, I feel like the lower arm would be a good one.
They probably went for him, and he put his arm up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, defensive wound.
Yeah, he probably had a defensive wound.
Yeah.
But it's still good that he got alcohol on it. It's still good that he is better prepared, better repaired. You know.
Yeah, no, he's ready for whenever the ambo gets there to him, if one comes.
I don't think that guy's going to any hospital, so... I did, you're right, I field dressed him.
You did, you field dressed him, that's what I meant. What did I say, field tech?
Yeah. I know you, medic!
Medic!
Yeah, I medicked him.
I'm amazed more medics didn't get shot on the field of battle.
Well, they often wore insignia to show that they were medics, and they often treated both sides. So it was in nobody's best interest to kill the medics.
That's
it also didn't look good.
It must be weird to like heal the other side.
But on a practical, even this is people may not realize this, but even into the Korean War, it got difficult in Vietnam because the enemy caught on and they started using it.
Yeah.
But into Korea and I dare say Vietnam, we treated the enemy. There was an order. You're supposed to treat Americans first,
right?
Allied second, the Koreans last,
or Namis.
You were supposed to treat the gook zipperhead fucks last, but they treated them. They were doctors. They had taken an oath.
So that applies even.
The
do no harm.
Hippocratic oath sees no enemy.
Interesting.
In my understanding, if there's a doctor listening, would like to call into the podcast. And
could you imagine if we had a
my understanding is based on the TV serial MASH. So,
yeah.
But if somebody would like to tell us more about that. But yes, my understanding is that...
The Hippocratic Oath.
Yeah, well, there's an episode...
Has no borders.
There's an episode of MASH where, I believe it's Frank, I think it was during the Frank years, before Winchester got there, was saying, why are you operating on this man before... There's a...
Yeah.
Oh, officers first, also. Officers, enlisted, allies, enemies. Right? So they were working on an enemy with his guts pouring out. And there was an officer sitting there with a broken arm or something. And Frank said, well, you should be fixing his broken arm before you... And Hawkeye or whoever turns around and says, yeah, this guy's gonna die.
Yeah.
He can wait for his broken arm.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the Hippocratic Oath.
Prioritization.
That's why people should respect doctors. In
people
spite
not-
of WebMD.
Do people not respect doctors?
In spite of WebMD. I think people respect doctors less today than they should. I think that people... Look at all of the people who think they have the herbal remedies and shit figured out. Steve Jobs maybe could have lived longer. He didn't respect...
This is true. He also only ate fucking fruit.
I don't think he only ever ate fruit. I don't know that much about him.
Yeah.
I've always seen him as someone who was brilliant, but proud. Not even proud. He had too much faith in himself and his own ways. He at one point apparently said that he didn't need to bathe because his vegetarian diet would take care of any bodily smells.
Like a vagina.
Yeah.
Self-cleaning?
Steve Jobs believed his whole body could be turned into one big vagina through vegetarianism. Anybody can take that or my interpretation of that however they want.
Do you see any of yourself in Steve Jobs? In
Yes.
what you just described? I was like, I don't know if he's describing Steve Jobs or himself right now.
I was describing Steve Jobs. I can see how people would possibly draw parallels. I would not, because I don't think I'm as
Self-cleaning?
brilliant as Steve Jobs was, or will do as much. I would like to do as much for the human race as Steve Jobs did. I don't think that it would be fair to prop myself up that much at this time. I understand why you're making the comparison.
Well, with the characteristics you just put out there, I could see somebody using those same characteristics to describe one Dillon Walsh.
The difference is if a doctor tells me that I should take some medicine, I'll probably take the medicine.
This is also shocking to me.
Steve Jobs would have been out there talking to that guy about how his diet would have really improved his skin elasticity, and that stab wound would have bounced right off.
Yeah.
That's not what I believe.
Yeah. We're going to put music in your pocket.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I do believe that a happy person heals better. There's a reason that he got that morphine. I don't think it does any good for a person to be
in pain
all day, no. And music is part of that. But for my person, my body, and all of that, Steve Jobs has a daughter. She could have had a father for longer if he would have taken medicine. I believe at the end of his life he may have taken medicine, but for a long time there he believed that he had it figured out better than the people. Here's the thing, is Steve Jobs had technology kind of nailed, or the way that technology was going to progress during the time that he was alive kind of nailed. But he didn't go to medical school. So when the people who had gone to medical school started talking to him, he probably should have listened. I don't think I'm the smartest person in the world in all categories.
Just some.
Just some.
Just some. Just some. So I guess that would make me, like, your lesser Steve Wozniak.
Oh, I don't know if you're Steve Wozniak. Who's that guy that took over after Steve Jobs died?
Oh, fuck off. I'm not that guy.
Oh, I was going to say you're the guy that cleans that guy's bathroom.
Oh.
When he's done shitting for the day. That's you.
Wow. Aggressive. And this is the last episode of the Lazy Susans podcast.
I'm not the one who compared me to Steve Jobs.
You did it yourself.
To do?
You did it yourself.
You did it first.
You did it yourself. Did you not see my face here, just sitting here? I'm like, yeah, just keep hanging yourself. Just keep laying that rope.
Obviously, I think that you are very important, Glenn.
Aw.
You may outlive me.
Yeah, anything's possible.
I don't know.
We're both gonna. We're neither of us are gonna see 80. Let's just be honest.
In any case, it has been a pleasure.
Yeah, sharing this earth with you and this space. I agree.
I don't think that it's necessary to compare ourselves to
great people.
Why? What for?
Right. Where does that get us?
Really? Where does it get us?
It gets us nowhere.
I think it's better to look at those people, see the things that they did, see the things they represented, but do our own things here on Earth.
Is it better to burn out or to fade away?
Young is still alive. Neil Young is still alive.
He is.
So.
He is still alive. Well,
he's also looked like an old man since he was about 23, so.
Yes, he has. He did not have. He had a face for radio from a young age.
Yeah, it's better to burn out than to fade away if you mean you die and you're I've been thinking about legacy. Legacy is planting a garden and never expecting to see those flowers grow. But you hope that there will be flowers.
I guess, yeah. That's one aspect of legacy. I don't know if that's a full scope view of what.
That's a simplistic.
It's a poetic.
It's a poet, exactly. I'm a poetic person.
Speaking of poetry,
I want to plant a garden. I don't think I'll see all the flowers grow.
Have you heard? So Jimmy, I was golfing with Jimmy.
So that's maybe my answer to that question. Yeah.
I was golfing with Jimmy James this morning. He was telling me a Bill Hicks story. You probably know it because you're an aficionado. Apparently, Mark Maron was supposed to be opening for Bill Hicks in the early '90s.
I don't think I know this story.
Okay. And Mark went up to Bill and goes, oh, sorry, no. Mark was supposed to follow Hicks, okay? And he went up to Hicks backstage. He goes, hey, man, you're Bill Hicks. Can I open for you instead of follow you? Yeah. And Bill's like,
I've been there.
Yeah, I have too.
People have asked to go
for you.
They didn't want to follow you?
No, I meant like we've been in that situation where I was like, I don't want to. Actually, I like putting you up before me now. Like, I don't mind following you because it's something that I do a lot.
Well, because you're interested in becoming a better comedian. I used to like following Alan Fitzgerald.
Aggressive.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's...
Alan Fitzgerald, in my time, still today, of course, but in my time, would burn the room down.
Yeah.
And not because he sucked, because he was really good. I used to like to follow Alan Fitzgerald, and I hope that in turn people will like to follow me, who want to become better comedians.
I mean, I think it's just, at this point I've just gotten comfortable with it. But that's not what I'm getting at. So, the story is, and this goes back to poetry, apparently, like, Mark he kind of, like, tucked tail and went backstage. Then he heard an uproar happen in the audience. And he went out to see
what
was
did Bill
going.
say when he asked, "Can I go before instead of after?"
It's like, fuck no, I'm ready to go on. Like, I think, like, that type of thing.
Fair answer.
Yeah. That was his answer. But then, Mark kind of tucked tail and went back. Comes back, and then he hears something happening in the audience that's really fucking loud, so he comes out to see what's going on. And it's just
Bill is bombing hard as shit.
Bill's just yelling.
Fighting. I have heard this story. I'm a poet! I'm a fucking poet!
Yeah. And
I have heard this story.
And then he stops for a second, and the old lady that he's, like, yelling at goes, "Well, tell us some poetry."
Yes. I have heard this story.
That's a fucking great story.
And I would have said there's a bluebird in my heart that wants to get, Artie Lang, on his episode of Dopey, when he was trying to leave and they were basically begging him to hang on, he finished with a poem, and he lamented that Todd had died. Unfortunately, Chris died shortly after that. Dopey, I listen.
Pour one out for Dopey.
Well, they won't drink it. I mean,
Yeah.
Chris might have, but he's dead.
I'm tipping my hat. Oh, man.
So I raped this chick.
Oh, okay. So that's a nice smooth transition into the local fucking uproar that happened.
Well, I wanted to... how was it last night?
That said, we got to address the elephant in the room, right? The what happened last week that got you temporarily, at least for the time being, banned.
Oh, I'm a rapist.
Well, in name only.
That's true. I went down to the DMV. I said, I want to change my name to Rapist Dillon Walsh.
Yeah.
And some people didn't think that was funny. I thought it was really funny when I showed my ID.
Yeah, you were
And
like...
it said Rapist Dillon Walsh.
Yeah.
Dillon Walsh, Esquire. Mine just says rape.
You have a rapist wit.
I know what you were going for there.
Yeah. Well,
a rapierist wit.
Yeah, it's from that's from Dumb and Dumber, right?
No.
Oh yeah, they say that
you have a rapist wit.
Yeah,
that's hilarious. I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
Yeah,
but that's a great joke.
It's a fantastic joke.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm banned at askew.
Temporarily, at least. That chick didn't show up this week, so I will tell you that. Well, let's explain what happened. Let's explain what happened. Yeah, I'll let you tell your story.
I am sick of telling the story.
You want
Why
me to
don't you tell the story?
Tell the story of how we met. No, you tell the story. All right. So, what happened is Dillon's doing his set. Okay. There's some female comedian from New York. We'll just call her blue-haired bitch, which is, I think,
I've been going with blue-haired moron.
Moron. Okay, whatever.
Just because she could have been a dude.
Well, I was going off what I thought you named it. I'm sorry, moron.
Blue-haired moron is the video.
I take back the bitch. Let's just go with
YouTube.com. Search blue-haired moron on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah, if anybody wants to see the set in which we're talking about, Dillon does have it posted. So, check that out. Link somewhere in the description.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah. Hey, look at us becoming YouTubers. Yeah, we're growing up.
I'm doing a little dance right now.
Yeah, we're growing up. But you're doing your set. As a comedian, we don't generally heckle other comedians, right? Unless Like, you're kind of asking.
Oh, it's
for something
very much looked down upon.
You don't do it, generally speaking.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'll heckle Chris every now and again, but, like, only because...
We're friends.
We're friends and it's different.
Me and you heckling each other is very different. Or heckling Chris, or heckling close friends.
Yeah.
Very different than...
somebody you don't know.
Absolutely.
Right. Like, so that said, that's, for those of you that don't do comedy that may be listening to this, that's just the couth of stand-up comedy. So she's heckling him, and Dillon's never one to suffer fools lightly. So he starts ripping into her, she starts ripping back into him. He's obviously, a better comedian, and he's winning this argument.
Jeffrey Joseph is looking for people to roast battle him.
Can we stay on topic?
Yes.
Alright. And then I think, like, the piece of this back and forth that's notable is that she walked up to the stage, hands on her cheeks, and gives him, like, puckers up. Dillon goes in for the smooch, and she does a psych type thing, she, like, brings her hand up.
Puts her hair through, hand through her hair.
And walks away, right?
Little Fonzie psych.
Yeah, little psych. And that's the end of that for the most part. Dillon finishes his set, goes outside to have his post-set cigarette.
That part is also not in the video, but I believe I do have it in audio.
You have a not kiss in audio?
That part of the...
You have a not kiss in audio?
Yes.
Okay.
I only recently was watching the video, and I noticed that I put my tape recorder down. So I haven't listened to the audio version of the set.
Yeah.
But there's, like, 45 seconds that aren't in the video.
Okay, well, just know that happened. This I actually witnessed.
But you can see her, like, come onto the stage, like...
Yeah, lean in, whatever. Yeah, I saw it happen, this I can say happened. Now, Dillon went outside for his post-set cigarette. I'm playing pool with a couple guys downstairs, so I didn't witness what actually happened outside. However, what I understand to have happened is that they were having a rather cordial conversation outside of the comedy club, and at one point, one of our other comedian friends came outside and goes, "Hey, she really got you with that fake kiss thing," and to which Dillon said, "That's okay. I'm gonna rape her later," which didn't go over well. Now, I wasn't there, so I'm going to let Dillon fill in any gaps.
She was sitting right next to me.
Yes. And that happened.
Yeah.
And what happened after you said that?
Oh, well, she started going, not saying, "I'm so afraid." Started going, "I can't believe you said that. I can't believe you would say something like that." Fucking,
And you doubled down. You're like, "I thought you were
Sam Cuck.
No. Sam Buck.
No, Sam Cuck.
I'm not.
Started.
This is Dillon's thing. It's not mine. I just want to make that.
This is me. This is Dillon Walsh.
Sam, I love you.
I love you too, Sam, but you cucked out. Starts going, "Oh, Dillon, I know we're all comedians here, but that was a little over the line. Vicky is a woman. I kind of understand her agreement a little more. Sam was probably trying to get some pussy. Let's be honest.
I don't know if
Sam,
that's a
maybe
simp.
Sam Simp would be better."
All right.
So
now, I'm not signing off on any of this. I have my own take on this, but I'm letting Dillon tell his piece.
Sure.
I just want to make that clear.
You say your
I will after.
position after.
Yeah.
Starts going, I don't know. She literally gets out of her chair and starts going, well, Sam goes like, I'll give him this. Sam and Vicky, actually I'm going to say it's more Vicky, start saying, well, we're comedians, right? You're sitting here among comedians. Fucking, it's a joke, you know? Don't, and I said, look, if you're uncomfortable, what do you think? You're gonna get up and I'm gonna start running after you, and these people are gonna do nothing.
Well, so you're leaving a piece out of this.
I'm leaving some yelling out of it, but that's about it.
Well, one of the things that got passed around was that she said she was uncomfortable going to her car now, correct? Which wasn't stated at any point here thus far.
That was something she started saying after she was already saying that she wanted me out of there. Almost the first thing that she said was, I can't believe this guy's allowed here. Why is he allowed here? If it's because then Vicky or whoever started saying, this is sort of what being a comic is. And she went, well, why is he allowed here if he says things like this? Her immediate, this is my opinion, she was obviously in no danger. I don't believe she was in fear. I think that she saw an opportunity to start some shit, and she started it. And all of the comedians fucking came to it like flies to shit.
Okay.
So, say what you want to say.
Alright. So again, I didn't witness any of this, so I'm just basing this off of Dillon's point of view, and then what I've...
And of course, I have an interest to protect myself, but I am genuinely trying to report this as fastidiously as I can.
Okay. Understood and appreciated. Here's what I would say. I think what she did to you while you were doing your set was wrong. I think that...
It should also... I'm sorry to interrupt. Should also be noted that after my set, she followed me outside. We spoke for 45 minutes to an hour before this occurred. I said all sorts of offensive things. She said all sorts of offensive things while we were speaking outside. She told me to pull my dick out on stage prior to that.
Well, that's, again, you'll see that in the video.
That's in the video.
That's in the video. So she already opened...
Which does not mean you should be able to rape people, but did make me think that she was a good enough sport
to deal with the oncoming.
I should have never expected anyone to be a good sport, is basically what I've drawn from it, is that, you can call yourself a comedian very easily, but that doesn't mean you have to act like one. No comedian would have... I would never get another comedian banned, period, with the... Even the person who did sexually come after me. And I have one of these, ladies and gentlemen. I have a Me Too. I'm not going to say his name here because he has stayed away. I told him, if I see you at another open mic, it's not going to be good. So let me not see you. And I haven't seen him. I never went to the fucking club. I never tried to start a fucking movement against him.
Right. Yeah.
And his stickers were in front of the club that this happened at to the night that this happened.
That said, okay, my take on this is that...
I'm going to give Glenn credit because he didn't even want to talk about this, and now that things have sort of fallen into their places a little bit.
It was kind of by design that I wanted to let some of the stink come off of, and the steam come off of the situation.
Because it affects you as well. And I said to Winsong, I never intended to harm your business, and I'm saying to you now,
Yeah.
I never intended to harm you in any way, certainly. I never intended to harm anyone. I was just talking to other comedians.
I think, okay, so let me give my piece on this.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. What she did was open Pandora's box when you were on stage, is my opinion. She gave off a perception that she could handle whatever it is that you were going to throw at her, especially the fact that she opened up the conversation to the sexual nature of...
Well, like I said to the girl on Monday, rape is not a sexual crime, except that you come. So I don't want to say that every sexual conversation is open to talking about rape, but
I'm struggling to find the connection in that sentence, but I'm kind of mixing. This is my problem: is I'm mixing jokes with real discourse. Right. So let me shut up. Okay. Say your piece. I'm sorry. I'm going to allow that. All right.
This is kind of my issue to be.
No, it is your issue, but I do feel like I need to make my position on this known.
No, I'm saying my issue is that I mix jokes with serious statements, and
yeah,
I thought that was called satire, but
sure. I don't consider what happened satire.
I don't either.
Right. So
it's far too simple.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not. It was a snap reaction to what it was. I understand why. To be honest with you, okay. All right, let me just get my full take on this out. She shouldn't have done what she did to you on stage, and it opened up your conversation to the avenue of distasteful jokes. Okay? Is what I think what happened. Now, I think, in my opinion, you made a
judgment error.
You made a significant judgment error in thinking that this obviously, not obviously soft female comic. Now, at the time, it wasn't obvious that she was soft, right? Because you could make that joke. You made that joke to other female comedians. You did 5 minutes of a joke that was way more distasteful to another female
Shout out to Holly
Johnston that recently moved to Austin.
Yeah, I did a set about us all fucking her dead body.
All? I thought it was just you.
No. It was a joke about if she died, how many of us could get in there while she was still warm.
And she was...
That was in
the audience.
The New Hampshire set.
Right, and she was in the audience when you did this. So, I'm just saying, he's done worse.
Is it still rape if they're dead?
Necrophilia at that point.
No, but I guess a corpse can't consent.
Yes. So I think it all gets lumped
into necrophilia.
Let's
try to keep it a little light.
Yeah. I think necrophilia is certainly lighter than rape, right?
The body isn't, but...
Hey-o. It's the same weight, technically.
Actually, but dead weight is much more difficult.
God damn it, let me get my takeout on this.
Okay.
Alright.
I have some takeout in the kitchen if you want after.
Yeah, I don't know when you bought it, but I think you fucked up in thinking you know who you can. We both know exactly how far we can, generally speaking, push people. I think most comedians do. It's what we try to do. Figure out where the line is and just tiptoe that line. You less tiptoe, you more jump. But that's your style. She didn't know you. She doesn't really know you. She probably got a bit of a taste of you from the discourse that you guys had in the heckling situation. But at the same point, she doesn't know you, and you don't really know her. So going to a rape reaction, I wouldn't even call it a joke. I think it was just the first thing that went through your head when our friend said that to you was just it's okay. You just said it.
Well, as I've said, there was a setup. I was providing the punchline.
Right, but I don't think that punchline was something you sat there and concocted. I think you just fucking said it.
That's accurate. Yeah.
Right.
No, sir. You're right.
Yeah.
I wasn't sitting there just give me the perfect time.
Right.
And I'll say that I'll rape this girl.
Right.
And make her feel really uncomfortable. You're right.
Yeah.
It was a snap thing. But a snap thing that, based on the last hour of conversation, that I thought was okay, given the context.
I think you would have said that to anybody.
Let me say, I think that is the perception of me, but the perception is based on the times that I have said things, and not all of the times that I've held back.
Well, nobody knows all the times you've held back.
Exactly.
But
there are many, many times that I have thought,
worse
hey,
things.
funny line, oh, don't say that. If you watch the video, she's telling me to whip it out and light my cigarette on stage, and the most repeated line in the whole thing is, I don't want Windsong to be mad at me. I don't want to get this in trouble. I don't want to get this club in trouble. Not even myself in trouble. I don't want to cause problems for this business.
And the irony of that entire set and what ended up unfolding is not lost on me. But you did. This was one of those times where there was no filter. It just came out, and then you're like, "But I was obviously joking. Do I really have to apologize for this?" Like, I think that probably went through your head a little bit, and then you dug your heels in.
You
have over the last week to justify what you said, which is fine.
I told John that night, I will apologize to this person, and I told Windsong when I sent her the message, I will apologize to this person. That's something people are saying and assuming, but they have no idea.
Well, in summary, what I'm saying here is that I don't think you should have said what you said. However, I think the reaction was not a result of the situation in particular, but more an aggregate of Dillon Walsh.
I think that's true. It wasn't even about what I said.
I do think it was about what you said, but I think
for the girl, it was about what I said.
I think the reaction was amplified because of the aggregate Dillon Walsh.
Mm-hmm.
That said,
I'm agreeing.
Right. So I'm not letting you off the hook for saying it. However, I do think the reaction may have been, and probably was, amplified because of what you symbolically represent to people.
And that's what I've been spending my time thinking about, is what it is that I represent to people, why people are made uncomfortable. Because to hear people speak, I'm just, basically an idiot who tells dick jokes. But people have a very sincere fear.
Of you?
Maybe fear is not the right word.
Apprehension?
There's something about the idea of me in when people think of me, it makes them feel a way that they don't like. And I think that many people couldn't even put a finger on exactly what the problem is.
Well, I think they would try, and I think they would point to drugs for the most part.
But you and I know...
Yeah, that you're relatively clean, right. Like...
It's really easy to say, oh, he's a fucking... I challenge anyone to find a time I've drank more than 2 beers in the presence of fucking a comedy crowd in the last several months.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're never the one that's stupid drunk. If anything, it's more the combination of a few beers with the prescriptions that you are given.
The times that I have not taken my prescriptions, people have accused me of being on drugs.
Yeah. Well, but again, that's like... And
I haven't given a lot of examples to people of me not being on my prescriptions. I'm sorry. I have...
No one believes a drug addict.
Mental problems.
Right, but nobody... The other thing is nobody believes a drug addict.
Well, that's fine. But
no, I'm just...
You're a drug addict.
I am.
Fucking...
I know, and I still have that fear that people don't believe me as far as certain things go.
Well, I don't give a shit what people think, honestly, and I think that's more the thing than even the drugs. I think
I think that's what gets you in trouble more.
I think the drugs are something that people point to because it's easy, but the thing that's scary or makes people apprehensive is that I don't care what they think.
And I don't know if that's really 100% true. I think it's a nice... I think... But we can delve into that in a different therapy session.
Well, we're just talking.
Yeah, no, I know. I mean...
And this isn't even the only thing I want to talk about, but it's what people are going to expect us to talk about.
Well, yeah, we need to talk about it because it was, like it's a... For lack of a better term, we're basically a high school cafeteria most of the fucking time.
Oh, yeah, I have a drop from my mom.
Oh, boy.
Where she said... It's something like, I mean, I'll give it to you and maybe you can just drop it in right here. But it's something like, everything you tell me about comedians makes me think that they're like a bunch of middle schoolers.
Yeah, we are. I mean, most of us have that maturity level.
Well...
Most of us... I mean...
in middle school, there was a teacher who wasn't teaching. I tried to organize the other students to sign a document that was to the effect that he shouldn't be allowed to teach us anymore. There were entire classes of children who were going to high school not knowing math.
Yeah.
Our parents had long been protesting this person for years. I thought, if the students do it, they'll have to do something.
Well, that sounds like a... Yeah.
The principal had to meet with me. He couldn't outwardly say, we're shutting you down. But they sent me to talk to a counselor. I showed the counselor the list of signatures and my document, and she said, well, obviously we can't fire the man. So I said, okay, change it. We want some kind of monitoring going on. We want something to be done. He was fired 2 or 3 years after I left the school.
Yeah. So what does that have to do with this?
It has whatever people want it to have to do with it.
Okay.
All I'm saying is I'm pretty used to this kind of thing.
Okay. One could almost say that you have a bit of a chip on your shoulder in regards to this whole thing.
Why wouldn't I?
Yeah, no, I mean, you well... You doing what you... well, I mean, in this case, I don't want to draw parallels to this scenario, like, with that, because it's very different. But, like, kids not going to school, not
I don't
learning...
think it's that different. And it wasn't kids not going to school.
No, not getting taught math. Like, versus a rape joke gone awry is the kind of a tough line to draw.
I'm used to my opinions being invalidated. I'm used to fighting uphill.
You're a salmon.
I'm a salmon.
Or are you, what's the Greek guy who pushes the rock up the fucking Ephesus?
Sisyphus.
Sisyphus, thank you.
Am I Sisyphus? Well, we're all Sisyphus.
We are. I'm just saying in this situation. If you keep
I
fighting the
can
same fight,
feel like Sisyphus, but everybody misses the point of that piece of writing.
What, keep going?
The last line is, one must imagine Sisyphus happy.
Because he just kept doing it? I don't understand.
Because he's...
Because he just continues to keep putting that...
Yeah. The way I interpret it...
Yeah.
Is that Sisyphus isn't allowing himself to be beaten.
Okay. That's fine. I can see that. Sisyphus
is saying, you know what? If my lot in afterlife is to roll this fucking boulder, I'm gonna be happy every time I watch it roll down. That's the joy I will get out of life. You're not going to make me a fucking submitted dog. One must imagine Sisyphus happy.
Okay. Thank you for that interpretation. Because it was lost on me. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it wasn't, but it was. Like, as far as putting
Does that make sense to you?
No, that's succinct and it works. You should check your text to see if Marvin's here.
So, if I am to be Sisyphus,
I will imagine you
on some level, we all are. And this is my lot in life. But, like I said, it's not something I'm not used to at this point. I'm used to not being understood. I'm used to being willfully misunderstood or ignored.
Well, you make it really difficult to ignore you.
Maybe. But maybe that's something I need to do.
Be seen, not heard?
I would prefer both.
What is that? Is that like the 1950s, like...
that was something that we used to say to children. Be seen and not heard.
Okay. My mind went to wives.
Women and children have been treated in much the same way throughout much of history. Or at least much of English and American history.
Yeah. Well, most...
Save the women and children?
Right. Yeah. No, I get it.
There's a reason for that.
Oh, Bill Burr.
Yeah, Bill Burr had an excellent point on that.
Yeah, he did. I'm not going to recite his bit. Everybody knows the Titanic bit. It's fucking good.
At its most basic form, it's a good way to ensure the survival of the tribe.
Which is amazing that we have, like, you think about it, all the wars, all the women and children being saved, yet the population is still like what, just 51% women, 49% men, and it just always seems to work out that way. It's amazing.
Personally, I see women as more than that. I don't think women are the delicate creatures that we make them out to be. I don't think women are children. I think women are enormously tough. They're certainly tougher than a joke.
Well, in this case, you were wrong.
You know, sometimes you gotta be wrong if you want to be right.
Yeah, well, in this case, you were certainly, you didn't know. Well, here's what like from my, I'm gonna offer you my perspective on the chick outside of this situation, although kind of including this situation. she seemed to be somebody who was just courting attention. Like, and that's another
That's
thing.
not lost on me.
I understand that. But I think that's a certain type of female comic. It's a certain type of female comic, especially one that's new to a scene.
I don't consider her a comic. I haven't even brought up the fact somebody actually threatened me with violence that night. I wasn't threatening that girl. I went inside. So because she was saying, oh, I don't know, fucking,
Yeah.
just in case she might actually feel at all afraid. I went inside for about 7 minutes, I would say.
7 minutes. Yeah, you ran over to me at the pool table and goes, dude, I think I'm about to get banned.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, I was like, what?
I gave her the opportunity to get out of there. There were people who would have escorted her. When I came back outside, she was holding court.
Yeah.
So she wasn't that scared.
Here's I think, and this is what I'm going to say, and I don't mean to lump in, but this is a certain type of female comedian, at least in my mind, that I've built up as an archetype, okay?
Well, they give us, examples.
I don't think there are too many.
No archetype is built without examples.
Right. I mean, she's coming to a new scene from a different city. Female comics, because there's so few of them, are so used to getting so much fucking attention.
What they want.
And attention.
Yeah.
And attention, which is generally attention in shows and whatever.
Well, yeah, apparently New York was paying for her to be here. That still doesn't make sense.
They weren't. It was the state of New York that was. Because she's
No, that's what I'm saying.
She's collecting unemployment.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's not the way that you phrased it, is it?
No, I heard her say that. Yeah, it's
not you. That's not the way that you phrased it on stage.
Yeah.
Is it?
No.
No.
So.
I know you're listening, blue hair.
Yeah. So that's I think at some point she realized how much attention she was getting as a result of this and just fucking played into it. I know that's gonna get me in some shit with people, but
Embrace it, Glenn.
Nah, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it because that's my honest fucking take on it. That's my honest take on it. That's just, I don't think you should have said what you said, but I think, again, it got amplified because of who you are, and she leaned into it hard because that's just the type of female, quote-unquote, comic that she is.
She didn't lean into it that hard. She didn't even show up this week.
Yeah.
As far as I know, she hasn't even been in contact with the club.
Yeah. But that's my honest take on it. For those of you that disagree with it, I don't know what to say. I guess I'm sorry, but that's just how I witness, or my take on what happened and the parties involved.
And for those of you who think rape is bad, I agree with you. I've never raped anybody. I just make jokes.
He does make jokes. Although in this case, I think it was just more of a reaction than a thought-out joke. Generally speaking, yeah,
does it matter?
I know I'm parsing fucking words here, but I'm just in its semantics at its fucking worst.
I think you're trying to mitigate the effects.
No, I'm really not. I'm really not, because I know, and I don't blame, to be honest with you, I also don't really blame, I don't blame the guys for jumping in if they weren't privy to everything that was going on. Not everybody is. All they hear is Dillon, rape, chick, girl uncomfortable, and they come running, and they do what they do. So I don't fault anybody. I don't fault anybody that reacted the way they did based on the information that they had.
We started, there was a guy who was stabbed.
Yes.
I went running.
Well, one...
You know what, though? He was actually stabbed.
Yeah, I see what you're saying there, but that... Yes, it's indicative of your character. Yes, I get it.
And the way that other people acted is indicative of their character.
I think going to, in their mind, again, well, here's the thing. When I first heard this story, I didn't know there was a setup. I thought you were just pissed off. In my mind, this is how the story went at first, was, and this may be what a lot of people think happened.
Well,
so I want to get this out there.
Sure.
Like, originally, the way it was put to me was that she heckled you, and then outside you said, you just blurted out, "I'm gonna rape you." That's the way it was put to me, and it was probably put that way to a lot of people. So I just want to make sure that people do get the full story.
That's not the way I put it to you.
You didn't tell me until either the next day or the day after.
I was being chased out by a mob.
No, I know. I know. Well, I didn't know you were being chased out. I was inside for almost all of this.
Next time you'll know, and it might be you.
It might be me because of my fucking take on this. Who the fuck knows? But you shouldn't have said what you said. But
I wouldn't go that far. But I accept consequences.
Well, you don't really have a choice but to accept the consequence.
That's an excellent point. I don't. Which is why the whole idea of, like, well, you doubled down. You didn't. Fuck everyone. Fucking. I merely spoke my mind, continued to speak my mind, and didn't bow to power simply because it was power. I disagreed, and I'm okay with disagreeing. And if it means that I get banned from a club, then I get banned from a club.
The only thing I don't want is for you to get in your own way of succeeding as a comic. That's the only thing. I'm as your boy. As your boy, that's the only thing that you know what? Like, I just want you to know is that when I get, like, whatever about things like this, it's because I want you to succeed as a comic, and I don't want you to shoot yourself in the foot and you walk a lot.
Well, I have a limp because I have 3 screws and 2 bolts in this leg. So, you're right, I couldn't really afford to shoot myself in another foot. On the other hand, I would be very happy to wheel myself to the comedy club.
Okay.
If that's what's necessary. Life is finite regardless of what you do. I just want mine to matter for something.
Correct. Now, if we went to another city, okay? Let's just say we moved to a different city, and the same thing starts happening to you. What would you think then?
I would think that the people who stood by me in that city are the people who will create a place for me to perform the next time.
Okay.
I think that I will always be a niche good. I'm never going to be Sebastian Maniscalco or Gabriel Iglesias. I am always going to be a particular group's comedian. And that's the way it is. And I'm going to play to my strengths. So I'm not going to cry over a little spilled rape juice.
Just gonna slip the rape in there anywhere you can, right?
It's the only way to do it. On the WB.
Yeah. Next up on Gossip Girl.
So I think that we've probably covered that.
Yeah,
for the time being.
Yeah. Let's.
Viewers, listeners, send your stuff in. You know, someone come rape me. You know, hold me down and rape me. It's okay for me to say that, right? I love sucking big black cocks. It's the only thing that makes me happy, and especially when it's forcible. So let's talk about something else instead of going over the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, no, I think... it was a subject that I think deserved as much fucking time as we gave to it. I mean, think about how much time went into it all fucking week.
Yeah, well, this is what I wanted to know was, how was last night?
Well, I mean, for me it sucked, but like as far as it, from your perspective, as far as your thing, nobody even fucking really talked about it.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
It could have just been an out of sight, out of mind thing. Also, I showed up super fucking late. So, I don't know if it was a topic of conversation or if people are going to talk about it without me in earshot because we are as close as we are.
Yeah, that's something I've got to... And it's honestly outside of my control at this point, Glenn. As even if you want to distance yourself from me at this point, it's going to be difficult. Unless you want to totally turn tail on me, which you could do.
Yeah, which I'm not going to do. I'm not going to do.
But
I'm not going to lie, that was put to me on I'm not going to say whatever, like name names or whatever.
You don't have to do it on the podcast.
It doesn't matter in general who it was. I was told to stop doing the podcast with you. I was also told not to comment on this on the podcast. And to be honest with you, at the time, because of the way it went down and what I understood, I was sitting there, was like, do I really have to consider this? I'm not gonna lie, but then when the entire thing came together, and I felt like I actually had there's a reason why judges take as long as they do to drop I'm not considering myself a judge in this case, but in some ways I was acting as one.
Well, you're the mayor.
Fuck
you're
off.
not a judge.
Fuck you,
You
Chris.
are a mayor.
Fuck you, Chris.
No, you're the mayor, and I've decided I'm the prince.
Prince of Mystery?
Prince of Comedy.
No, you don't understand.
The Prince of Providence.
That's a sad state of affairs. I don't even know if you'd be welcome at court.
That is a sad state of affairs, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you out there know I've done more for this fucking scene over the last 6 years. I've fought tooth and nail for comedians to be involved in as many places as they could. I've given you guys spots where you didn't have them. I have spent hundreds and thousands of dollars of my own money and never expected it back so that you guys could perform. I don't expect you to follow me 100% all the time, but I was really disappointed in the showing. However, made some new friends. Some that, you'll never have to know. A lot of people contacted me behind the scenes to tell me that they completely disagreed with the way that this was handled. And especially members of the audience. And not just that one couple.
Oh. Yeah, the swinging couple. They weren't there either. They weren't wearing their... I figured they were going to show up with the free...
That's not who I'm talking about then. Different couple.
I know the couple you were talking about.
Then they were there.
Last night?
Oh, not last night.
No,
They're on vacation.
Oh, okay. Probably wearing their free Dillon Walsh t-shirts in Cancun.
I can only hope that they are somewhere in...
Who is this gringo?
They're somewhere in... I think they're actually up north.
We should take a picture. We should put a hole in that.
I hope they're in Vermont wearing free Dillon Walsh t-shirts and spreading the good word.
Now that that door is already fucked up, we should put a hole in that and have your face coming through fucking The Shining style.
Just for like a photo op?
Yeah.
And Glenn, I really want you to put this on the Google Drive in its entirety, but you know, well, I was gonna say you're free to edit this how you want. I would like to have it edited fairly, but I have faith that you won't take any. Don't pull on me and omit the entire.
No, I'm not.
You know what I'm saying, right?
100%.
So,
I'm not gonna.
Because Glenn has edited most of these.
Very lightly, I have to say.
And yeah.
I've tried
Thank you
to
for
use
coming today.
a featherly touch. Thanks for having me, Dylan. The hospitality is always.
This is a good podcast. People like this.
People do seem to like this.
So, as far as you know, you didn't hear anything last night. That's fine.
Yeah, no, I would report back to you, like, anything that I heard, and then after I went up, like, 30th, right?
Sure,
So,
yeah.
I was after I went up 30th, and ever since, I've just been thinking about how shitty a set I had, so.
I'm waiting for the host's
The host was Chris
view.
last night.
That's why I said the host instead of his name.
Well, okay.
But, yes, Chris. I'm waiting for Chris's opinion.
I'm sure. I feel like I know where Chris is going to fall on this for the most part.
Where do you think Chris is going to fall on it?
My speculative answer on this would be that Chris is probably going to fall in the same vein that I do. In that, no, you don't think so?
He has.
You saying based on the dialogue we had in Austin on his?
No, not based on anything in Austin.
Okay. I just meant like, never mind. We can take this offline, but
he had some strong feelings on it.
Oh, he expressed them to you?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They were different than yours.
Okay.
And I was waiting to see if,
He changed his mind?
well, no. If there was any expression of it last night.
Oh,
He said that if the blue-haired girl showed up, he was going to introduce her as Dillon Walsh.
Yeah, that would have gotten him banned.
I don't know if he cares at this point.
I don't think so either. Okay, so yeah, no, Chris is happy.
Chris is a fucking soldier.
Chris is happy-go-lucky. Yeah, actually, Chris after the kid heckled me, Chris went up there and fucking had my back, which was dope. Chris is great fucking people. I thought but like I said, I think he's probably not that far off from my take. Like,
have you talked to him about it?
No, we actually didn't talk about it.
He's a little
more. Yeah, no, well, okay.
I don't want to speak for anybody. That's why I didn't use his name initially.
All right. Well, if I can, I'll bleep it.
Don't bleep it. I want all of this to be intact. I mean,
yeah.
Fucking Chris, if I'm misrepresenting you, then let me know. Absolutely.
Comment below.
I'm sure he'll speak to me, but
yeah.
There were a few people that were very much on my side who I didn't expect. Chris I would have expected, but
yeah.
Our new friend Mark, for instance, was very much on my side from the beginning, as far as I could tell. Our Finian friend.
He said he came. No. He said he came around on it. I don't want you to misrepresent what he said. He said, "Sadly, I'm coming to agree with you." Is I believe the comment that he said.
Well,
am I not wrong? I mean, am I wrong?
That's certainly the way that he wrote it on Facebook. Yes.
Okay. Which Yeah, obviously social media doesn't mean shit, but at the same point, like...
I also spoke to him on Saturday.
Right. I'm guessing after he saw the video, which helped change a lot of people's
The
minds.
video changed a lot for a lot of people.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. But
here's the thing.
The initial take was that of...
Here's my thing. The people in the room who lost their minds saw that video live.
Maybe they weren't paying attention.
That's a problem in and of itself.
That's a different podcast. Yeah.
Well, we can touch on it.
Well, I think...
Hey, comics, if you're listening to this, fucking listen to people on stage.
We're both...
Or go outside and smoke. Don't fucking make strong comments on things that you don't know what they are. Especially in the room. Because, and don't you dare cut this part out, I'm not the last one. If you guys want to support this type of fucking culture, then you will have nothing to cry about to me when you get canceled, when you get run out, when the mob comes after you. You'll have nothing to bitch about because you were part of the mob before. And that's the way I feel about all of this.